At 82, I've lived a life rich with lessons, each year etching its wisdom into my heart. I've weathered storms, celebrated joys, and learned to navigate the unpredictable waves of existence. Yet, among the countless choices I've made, one stands out as a shadow of regret that lingers in my thoughts: the decision to move into a nursing home. At the time, it felt like the right path to take. My family, with their gentle encouragement and well-meaning assurances, painted a picture of a safe haven, a place where I'd be enveloped in care, surrounded by comfort, and free from the burdens of daily life. They promised me peace, security, and a community that would cater to my every need. Trusting their words, I stepped into this new chapter with hope, envisioning a life of ease and companionship. But the moment I crossed the threshold, reality unraveled the illusion. The nursing home was not the sanctuary I'd imagined. It was a world that shifted the very foundation of who I am. I know many of you may be standing at a similar crossroads, weighing whether a nursing home is the best choice for yourself or someone you hold dear. Perhaps you've been told it's the safest option, a practical solution to the challenges of aging. Maybe you've heard the promises, how it will simplify life, lift the weight of responsibilities, and offer around-the-clock care. But before you take that irreversible step, I urge you to pause and listen. I want to share 6 hard-earned truths I wish someone had shared with me before I made that choice. These are not just reflections. They are warnings born from experience, lessons that could reshape how you view this monumental decision. Life in a nursing home isn't merely about convenience. It's a profound shift that alters your independence, your sense of self, and your connection to the world you've known. Once you're inside those walls, leaving is far more complicated than you might believe, a reality I learned the hard way. Stay with me through this journey, because these insights might catch you by surprise, challenging the assumptions you hold about nursing homes. If you or someone you care about is contemplating this path, these words could be the lifeline needed to make an informed choice. This isn't just my story. It's a call to reflect deeply before committing to a decision that could redefine your life or the life of someone you love. The lessons I'm about to share are not abstract. They are raw, real, and rooted in moments that changed me forever. So, let's begin this exploration together, peeling back the layers of what it truly means to step into a nursing home, and why it's a choice that demands more than a fleeting thought. Regret 1. Losing my independence. The biggest shock after moving to the nursing home wasn't the small room, the set meal times, or even the unfamiliar faces. It was realizing that I had lost control over my own life. Before I moved, I had routines. I decided when to wake up, when to eat, and how to spend my day. I could go for a walk whenever I wanted, cook my own meals, or just sit quietly in my favorite chair with a book. But inside the nursing home, I quickly realized that my time was no longer entirely my own. Everything ran on a schedule that wasn't mine. Breakfast was at a certain time, even if I wasn't hungry. Lights out happened at a specific hour, whether I was ready for bed or not. Want to go for a walk outside? You might need permission. And you'll probably have to wait until someone is available to assist you. Simple decisions, like what to eat or even what to wear, started to feel like privileges instead of basic choices. I remember my first week there, waking up in a bed that didn't feel like mine. I sat up, tense, and reached for the book I'd been reading at home. But as I looked around the room, it hit me, this wasn't my home. My books, my favorite chair, the little comforts I'd spent years collecting were gone. In their place were sterile walls, a bed I didn't choose, and a feeling I couldn't shake. I was no longer in charge of my own life. The hardest part was realizing that once you give up your independence, getting it back is nearly impossible. You adapt because you have to. You stop arguing when they tell you what's for dinner. You stop asking if you can go for a walk whenever you want. You learn to fit into their system. But in the process, you start to lose yourself. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to give up the small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, You'll miss them more than you ever thought possible. Regret 2. Feeling forgotten. One of the hardest truths about moving to a nursing home is realizing that the world outside keeps moving without you. When I first arrived, my family reassured me that they would visit regularly. I believed them, and at first they did. My daughter came every week, my grandchildren visited on weekends, and for a short while, I felt like I still had a connection to my old life. But as the months passed, the visits became less frequent. My daughter started calling instead of coming. My grandchildren got busy with school and work. Holidays were the hardest. Everyone promised they'd come, but somehow plans always changed at the last minute, and suddenly, I found myself sitting alone in a common room, watching other residents stare at the door, hoping today would be the day someone remembered them. It's not that my family stopped loving me, life just got in the way. When you're not around every day, it's easy for people to assume you're fine, that you're adjusting, that you don't need as much attention. But the truth is, the longer you're in a nursing home, the easier it is for people to forget how much you still need them. I remember one evening, sitting in my room, holding the phone, debating whether to call my son. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to remind him that I was here, waiting for a visit that might never come. So I put the phone down, and that's when it hit me. This was my life now, watching days pass, hoping someone would remember to include me. If you're thinking about moving to a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, it's easier than you think to become out of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let's move on. Regret 3. Losing a sense of purpose. When I moved to the nursing home, I thought I was just changing where I lived. I didn't realize I was also changing why I lived. At home, I had responsibilities. I had routines, hobbies, and reasons to get up in the morning. Even small things, watering plants, making my own coffee, tidying my space, gave me a sense of purpose. But in the nursing home, those daily rituals disappeared. Meals were made for me. Cleaning was done by someone else, and plants, well, they weren't mine to care for anymore. At first, I told myself it would be fine, that I could finally relax, no more chores. No more responsibilities, just rest. But after a few weeks, I realized something was missing. The days felt endlessly long with nothing to do but wait. I saw it in other residents. Too, people who were once full of energy now spent their days sitting, staring, waiting for time to pass. There was a man named George, 84 years old, who had been a carpenter his whole life. At home, he was always fixing things, building small projects in his garage. But here, there were no tools, no projects, nothing for him to create. I watched as he slowly withdrew. Hands that were once strong and skilled now idle in his lap, useless. One day, he told me, I feel like I'm just waiting to die, and I knew exactly what he meant. When you no longer have something to care for, something to work toward, life starts to lose meaning. Your mind slows, your body follows, and soon, you start to feel like just another resident in a place where time passes, but nothing really changes. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? Because once you move in, finding purpose isn't as simple as filling your time. It's about fighting to hold on to the things that make you feel alive. Regret 4. Health declining faster than expected. Before I moved to the nursing home, I was doing well for my age. I wasn't running marathons, but I could still take care of myself, go for walks, and cook my own meals. I had routines that kept me moving, grocery shopping, morning stretches, even just walking around the house kept my legs strong. But once I moved in, everything changed. At first, it seemed like I was just taking the easy route. Meals were brought to me, and I no longer stood in the kitchen cooking. If I needed something, I could push a button. and someone would come help. But what I didn't realize was that the less I did for myself, the weaker I became. I stopped moving as much, and soon my legs felt stiffer. I sat more than I ever had before, and before I knew it, standing up from a chair started to feel like a chore. The muscles I'd spent years maintaining disappeared faster than I ever expected. And it wasn't just me, I saw it happen to others too. People who walked in on their own 2 feet were suddenly relying on wheelchairs. People who were once independent now needed help with things they never struggled with before. The more we were helped, the more we seemed to need it. I remember my neighbor, Alice. An 81-year-old woman, vibrant when she first arrived. She used to walk daily around the facility, insisting she wouldn't slow down just because of a number. But after a few months, I noticed she wasn't walking as much. Then she started using a walker, then a wheelchair. One day, she looked at me and said, "I don't know when it happened, but I feel like I aged 10 years in just a few months." And that's exactly what it feels like. When you stop using your body, you start to lose it. And in a nursing home, where everything is designed to make life easier, it's easy to forget that movement isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. If I had known how quickly I'd lose my strength, I would have fought harder to keep moving, stay active, push myself even when I didn't feel like it. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, will you still have the motivation to keep your body strong when everything is set up to make life easy? Because once you slow down, getting back up isn't as easy as you think. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating great content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on. Regret 5. Losing privacy and dignity. One of the things I didn't fully consider before moving to a nursing home was how much privacy I'd lose. At home, I had my own space. I could close my bedroom door, sit in silence if I wanted, and do things on my own terms. But in a nursing home, privacy is a luxury you can't always keep. From the moment I arrived, I felt like I was constantly being watched. Staff came in and out, checking the room on a schedule, and shared spaces meant you were rarely alone. Even simple things like getting dressed or using the bathroom often required someone's assistance. I know they were just doing their job, but it's not easy to accept help for everything you've done independently your entire life. I remember my first week, struggling with the idea that I had to ask for permission to do things I used to do without thinking. Want to take a shower? You might have to wait until someone's available to help. Need to use the bathroom? Sometimes pressing the call button meant waiting longer than you'd like. Even meal choices were limited. If you didn't like what was on the menu that day, too bad. And then there's the issue of roommates. Not everyone gets a private room, and sharing a space with someone you didn't choose can be frustrating. I was lucky to have a kind roommate, but I heard stories from others who weren't so fortunate. Some had roommates who were loud, messy, or even had cognitive issues that made sleeping nearly impossible. No matter how you try to make your room feel like home, it never truly is. Dignity is a hard thing to lose, and I didn't realize how much I'd have to surrender until I was there. When people knock on your door but don't always wait for an answer before coming in, when you're spoken to like a patient instead of a person, when your daily routines are decided by a schedule you didn't create, it changes you. You start to feel less like yourself and more like another name on a list. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared to give up the privacy and control you've had your whole life? Because once it's gone, it's hard to get back. Regret 6. Realizing it's harder to leave than you think. When I first moved into the nursing home, I told myself it was temporary. I thought I'd give it a try, see how things went, and if I didn't like it, I could always leave. But what I didn't realize was how difficult it would be to get out. When I was first there, it seemed simple. If I didn't like it, I'd just go home. But home wasn't home anymore. My house was empty, and maintaining it from afar became difficult. My kids had already started making changes, selling things they thought I wouldn't need, even considering renting the place out. When I brought up the idea of going back, they hesitated. Are you sure you can manage on your own? Wouldn't it be safer to stay? We just want what's best for you. And then there was the issue of physical decline. After months of living in a place where I didn't have to cook, clean, or even walk far, I wasn't as strong as I used to be. The independence I once had started to slip away. The idea of moving back home became more daunting than I ever imagined. I wasn't confident in my ability to live alone anymore, and that fear held me back. I was stuck. I met others with the same experience. They thought they'd try the nursing home for a short time, only to realize that leaving wasn't as easy as they thought. The longer you stay, the harder it becomes to adjust to life outside. Some even lost the option entirely after their homes were sold or their savings were drained by the cost of care. There was no going back. That's the part nobody tells you. Moving in feels like a decision you can reverse, but for most people, it's not. The nursing home slowly becomes your entire world. And before you know it, the life you once knew outside starts to feel like a distant memory. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you prepared for the possibility that once you go in, leaving might not be as simple as you think? Because once you settle in, the barriers to leaving, whether financial, physical, or emotional, can be harder to overcome than you expect. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment the number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating great content to inform and inspire you. As I sit here at 82, reflecting on the tapestry of my life, I carry no regrets for the years that have silvered my hair or etched lines upon my face. Aging is a privilege, a testament to a life lived fully. But there's one choice that haunts me, a decision I made with the best intentions, but the heaviest consequences. Believing that a nursing home was my only path forward. I walked through those doors expecting a sanctuary, a place of comfort, safety, and care that would cradle me in my later years. My family's assurances echoed in my mind, their promises of a better quality of life, painting a picture of serene days and attentive support. Yet, what I found was far different. The nursing home, with its sterile walls and rigid schedules, slowly chipped away at the essence of who I am, my independence, my privacy, my purpose, and even the quiet dignity of being myself. It wasn't the haven I'd envisioned. It was a world that reshaped my existence in ways I never anticipated. Does this mean nursing homes are inherently bad? Not at all. For some, they provide essential care that cannot be replicated elsewhere, a lifeline for those whose health demands constant attention. But my story isn't about condemning these places. It's about illuminating the cost of that choice, a cost I underestimated until it was too late. Moving into a nursing home isn't just a change of address, it's a surrender of the small, sacred freedoms that define you. It's the loss of choosing when to wake, what to eat, or how to spend a quiet afternoon with a book in your favorite chair. It's the fading of connections as the world outside moves on, leaving you behind. Once you cross that threshold, life, as you know it, shifts irrevocably. And the path back is fraught with obstacles, physical, emotional, and financial, that I never saw coming. If I could turn back time, I would have fought with every ounce of my strength to stay in my own home. I would have explored every alternative, home care, community support, small adaptations to keep my space safe before relinquishing the freedom that anchored my soul. I learned too late that independence isn't just about doing things for yourself. It's about holding onto the spark that makes you feel alive. I wish I had asked myself harder questions. Was this truly my only option, or was it simply the easiest one at the time? I wish I had weighed what I was giving up against the promises of care. My greatest lesson is this: your routines, your choices. The quiet moments that feel ordinary today are treasures worth guarding fiercely. They are the threads that weave your identity, and once they unravel, Stitching them back together is a battle I wouldn't wish on anyone. To you, standing at this crossroads, whether for yourself or someone you love, I implore you to pause. Ask yourself, is a nursing home truly the best path, or is it the one that seems simplest in this moment of uncertainty? Dig deep. Consider what makes your life yours: the morning coffee you brew just right, the garden you tend, the freedom to close your door and breathe in solitude. These are not small things. They are the heartbeat of your existence. Explore every option to preserve them, because once you let them go, they may slip beyond your reach. My regret isn't just about a place. It's about underestimating the value of the life I had and the difficulty of reclaiming it. I learned that safety and convenience can come at a cost far greater than I imagined, and I want you to make this choice with eyes wide open. Thank you for walking this journey with me today. Your time, your attention, means the world to someone like me, who has seen the weight of decisions unfold over decades. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one lesson you're taking away from this and how you plan to weave it into your life. Your thoughts are a gift. A reminder that we're all connected in this journey of navigating life's choices. Reading your reflections fuels my hope and inspires me to keep sharing these hard-won truths. If this story resonated with you, if it stirred something in your heart or shifted your perspective, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Your support breathes life into our mission to create content that informs, challenges, and inspires. Let's keep this conversation alive, because these decisions shape not just our days, but the very essence of who we are. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to meeting you again in our next video, where we'll continue to explore the truths that matter most.